Hey everybody, this is Molly K. Hope y'all are well. I want to do a Civil War update, Civil War 2.0 in America, because a lot of states are deploying troops to the Texas border, and Texas has decided they are going to build a military base at the border. So this is essentially setting the stage for all these states, in addition to Texas, to be going against the federal government, and which could eventually kick off the um, predictive programming or the Civil War. So I'm gonna bring you two stories, and then I'll just show you in the search. When you go search for the states that have deployed troops to Texas, there are quite a few. So here in the Daily Journal, this came out on the 19th, which was yesterday, February 19th, 2024. Indiana National Guard, Texas deployment to cost $7 million. So it says the Indiana National Guard expects to spend about $7.1 million deploying 50 soldiers to the U.S.-Mexico border at Texas for up to 10 months. That's a lot of money for 10 months and just 50 people. Master Sergeant Jeff Lowry, the Guard spokesperson, told the Capitol Chronicle the cost includes pay and allowances, accommodations, transportation, supplies, and maintenance. Texas Governor Greg Abbott and a growing number of Republican governors, including Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb, say President Papa's administration is not doing enough to stem the flow of unauthorized migrants. Texas and the federal government are clashing over a recent U.S. Supreme Court order on razor wire, access to a park along the border, and more. Holcomb announced Indiana's deployment last Friday after a recent direct request from Abbott. Nearly a dozen other states have Guard soldiers in Texas or have pledged to send some, according to the right-wing Texas scorecard. Indiana's soldiers are mobilizing and will have a week of training at Camp Atterbury on the operations of the mission. Lowry said the Guard is first taking volunteers for the mission. The soldiers are expected to arrive in Texas in mid-March. They're being called up under state active duty, meaning the state of Indiana pays their salaries. An earlier statement from the Guard said it had sufficient funds to cover the cost. So this is interesting. So they'll make sure that these troops are not paid with federal dollars, and that I don't know if the federal government can activate them and redirect them. I don't know what would happen if that happened, but looks like the states are doing the states' rights thing and basically disregarding um, the federal government, but which also sets the stage for all these challenges and ultimately potential conflict with the federal military. It isn't the first time that Indiana National Guard members have been deployed outside of the Indiana border. In 2021, the Guard was sent on federal detail to Washington, D.C. to help secure the U.S. Capitol during the presidential inauguration. At other times, soldiers have been sent to other states to help with aftermath of natural disasters such as hurricanes and tornadoes. Numerous Republican policy leaders have said they fully support Holcomb's decision in constituent newsletters. State Senator Andy Zay, a Republican of Huntington, said he proudly backed the deployment in a statement last week, adding, "The brave men and women in our National Guard make a commitment to serve when duty calls, and I am grateful for their bravery as they head to Texas to protect our nation and take efforts to secure the border." Democrats have criticized the move. Governor Holcomb using Hoosier National Guardsmen as political props is a shameful move. State Representative Kyle Miller, D. Fort Wayne, said in a statement last week. This border controversy is a long-standing culture war and dog whistle continuously initiated by Republicans from around the country. So you see how Democrats will just totally disregard like what is actually happening. Like people are literally filming stuff, it's in the news, it's everywhere. And they'll sit and tell us in our faces, y'all don't see what y'all see. Like this is the epitome of gaslighting. And that's what politics has basically become now. So, I don't really know what to say to people who are just still gung ho on acting as if this political party or really either political party have the interest of the people, because both political parties could shut down the border easily and it be done. You can't go into some of these other countries and just be there. They don't let you. You'd be killed, or if you caught, you'd have a problem. Look at all the people that have crept into some of these other countries, and then they get in trouble, and they're trying to call their consulates and national representatives to help get them out of trouble. Like that doesn't happen here. Um, I just don't. I don't know what people expect. How we can just take everybody and have the money to pay for it. We can't even take care of the people that are here, and we have so many stupid rules to keep people from working and being part of the system. Like it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If you think about it, it is really like they intentionally have undermined the American citizens because they're tired of them and they're looking for the next class of people to come with this socialist welfare mentality insight or thought process, so that they can start those people off from the bottom and keep the system the way that it is, even though the infrastructure is going to be drastically different. So I don't know, it's just stupid. So the other state, oh well, I can't read this article because I'm not paying for nothing to read about DeSantis. Anywho, let me go back to this search engine. So I wanted to show you this article. So I did a search of states deploy guard to Texas, and you see Florida is considering it, Missouri announced, or they were going to announce that they were going to send troops to the border. Louisiana, Texas officially sends request for Louisiana National Guard troops. And it says Louisiana will be sending their troops. I read you the story about Indiana. Uh, as you can see, Trump called for states to deploy National Guard to Texas. So the mere fact that he's involved will also incite excitement among his base, the Patriots. So this thing is kicking up. It's kicking up fast. It's happening silently, and so you need to pay attention if to the fact if your state is sending troops, because it's going to go on record that you was helping Texas fight against the federal government. And so what you have to think about is if you live in a state that deploys troops, you know, how much federal money does your state get? Will the federal government stop sending federal dollars to your state for things that your state may need that they rely on, i.e., schools, um, public health, public education, um, transportation, law enforcement, public safety? So it's a lot of things. Anything that's got public in front of it, it usually entails receiving some federal dollars, and usually more dollars than your state produces, usually. So it's something to consider if you are a person who relies on public anything, and understanding where that money comes from. You can go to your state legislature and look at formula grants and see where this money comes from and how it's divvied out, even to your local governments and municipalities. So saying that it's not a big deal and thinking that it doesn't impact you or your state, it impacts every state. Um, so you can't just look at it from, it's not my state situation. If your state is deploying troops, then now your state is involved in the fight. New Hampshire lawmakers approved Sunu's $850,000 request to send National Guard troops to Texas, South Dakota. Um, and it says Texas is going to build an 80-acre base in Eagle Pass for National Guard troops. So, um, things are, in Georgia too. So it's the Georgia governor to send National Guard members to help Texas at the border. And so even though it's not a whole lot of troops, it's just the fact that the troops are going means your state is in support of Texas. So we have very interesting times, very challenging time. And we need to understand what this means. When you send troops out of your state, it means those are fewer troops and less equipment that your state has to protect its own people. Number one. Number two, it's a challenge, a direct challenge to the federal government, setting up um, Civil War 2.0, the Confederate States of America against the Feds or the North or whatever you want to call it, that thing. And lastly, understanding that everything is about the Negro. And so once these things get rolling, they seem to be about migrants right now, but everything is going to turn and pivot like it always does. And somehow it's going to be about Black people. Now, we've been clear that we've staying out of everything, and I've been very vocal with Black people who follow my channel. Keep your nose clean. You don't have opinion about nothing. We ain't got no opinion about Israel and Gaza. We ain't got no opinion about Ukraine and Russia. We ain't got no opinion about Texas and the border. We don't have any, because one, we don't have any power to do anything about any of those things. Two, nobody listens to us. Three, this is a very dangerous time for us. And so we need to be trying to keep our heads tucked down, mind our own business, and be preparing quietly, working diligently and quietly to prepare for what's coming. I know a lot of people think Jacob's trouble has already passed, and I didn't really know. But as things go on and as I see the picture clearer, I see trouble for our people. I see trouble for Israelites scattered everywhere, because those in the West, those in Europe and Canada and America, we're gonna be suffering wrath because we're in captivity here, or we're here by choice. um, Everybody's not in captivity, because some people actually have dual citizenship. They can go back to where they came from. We're the only people who don't have that luxury. We don't have dual citizenship. We don't have multiple passports. We don't have another homeland to go to. And now, those of us who are awakened, we understand why, but you can't be comfortable right now, because we are all we got. And 2/3 of our people are asleep. 2/3 of our people don't know who they are. 2/3 of our people have no clue what's coming. And so those of us who are awakened, we have to continue to try to wake our brothers and sisters up, let them know what's coming. We have to keep watch all these events that are going on around the world, um, making sure although we may not be engaged politically by voting, we're still paying attention to what is happening where politics are concerned, because those things will help us understand where we are in the collapse of the empire. Um, and there are a lot of things that have been expedited. You see where I brought you the story about the truckers not going to New York. So that means famine is going to be coming soon. And famine is going to look different, you know, in a lot of places because of things that are going to be going on in this larger cities. Then you got this Confederate setup for this Civil War, which is going to put red states versus blue states. And if you look at a map, let's see if I can show you a political map. So if you look at the images of a map, I'm just pick one by states. If you look, the majority of this country is red. It's not blue, it's red. And I know some of these states are like, oh, well, we just turned purple. We did this. Talking about for real, for real. Like the culture of the states. The culture of the states, not just a little city where a lot of black people are, or a city where it's a college town and you got football and it's very preppy, white, highly educated. The rest of the state, the majority of states in this country are red, and y'all already know how to get down. So we can pretend like we don't know, but we know. Um, so you can expect more states to join in with Texas, although I'm not sure. The Civil War movie was about Texas and Florida. That's coming out in April. And while they are the largest, most vocal proponents or opponents, I don't know. I can't really say what's going to happen with the rest of the country, but just pay attention to the state that you live in. Make note if that state sends troops, and understand that that is a position, a military position that your state is taking in support of Texas, which means you are in direct opposition of the federal government and the Supreme Court. So this could play out in a number of ways, and we just need to pay attention. We need to be aware. You never know when the government's going to be like, okay, we're tired of playing with y'all. Let's pull out the big guns. Although I don't know how they're going to do that, because we are just stretched so thin. And I don't know if our own troops will do something in this country to their own. So it's setting up to be an interesting time. Again, it is some kind of time to be alive, but y'all continue to watch this, because this is huge, and this is going to directly impact African American Black people. Pay attention when you see your neighbors who are not from here packing up and leaving and disappearing. As folks gonna start disappearing soon. And then that's how you know it's about time for things to blow. So again, keep watch, keep prepping, keep praying, keep seeking the Most High, obey those laws, statutes, and commandments, cry out to the Most High, because there is no way we're going to be able to get out of this. There's no way. Ain't nothing we can do, especially if you're African American. As I've said before, there's nowhere to go for us. We're stuck here. We don't have dual citizenship. There's no home for us to go to. There are no welcome mats nowhere being rolled out for us. We are not wanted any place, and if they can get rid of us off this earth, They will. Our replacements are here. Our replacements are coming. As soon as they get all the pieces in place, they're going to do whatever they're going to do. And just know everything that they're doing is about us. As many of us as they can take out, and as many of us they can keep asleep, they will, because it means they can continue to rule for a little while longer. So wake up your brothers and sisters, let them know who we are, cry out to the Most High so that we can get up out of here, so He can come and avenge us, so He can shorten the days, because just looking at all this stuff coming, I am exhausted. I can't tell you. I'll get very little sleep now because I just, I'm not worried, but it's just like, how do people not see this? And how did we let this happen? Um, why aren't people repenting and turning away from sin and getting back to the basics so that we can retreat and push back this wickedness? But it's ordained, it's going to happen, it's got to happen. And so we just have to um, prepare spiritually, and do what little preparation we can physically, and understand that no matter how we prepare, what we prepare for, without the Most High behind us, fighting for us and protecting us, we are not gonna make it. So keep praying, family. That's all I got. This is a frightening time to be alive, but it's also a beautiful time to be alive, because we're getting to see biblical prophecy unfold, and we know who we are. Those of us who are chosen, we are the elect. We are going to be getting up out of here soon, and that's a beautiful thing. So keep watch, keep praying, keep prepping, and try to wake your brothers and sisters up, as many as you can. They don't listen, dust your feet off and keep on going. But our job isn't done yet. It's not time to be silent, so we got to keep talking. All right, love y'all, and I'm out.